Most guys are chasing the wrong key, trying to unlock a door that was never locked in the first place. They believe attraction is a complicated game of looks, humor, or perfect lines. This is a fundamental error. Women are drawn to a force, a specific energy you project, not loud aggression, but a quiet, unshakable command of yourself that she can feel physically. When a man is grounded, centered, and completely self-contained, her awareness shifts. Her pulse changes. Her guard softens. Intrigue begins. Desire starts in silence. It's not your words. It's your energy. That energy whispers, I could choose you, but my peace doesn't depend on you. That quiet confidence is magnetic. Women are drawn to men they can't fully read, but feel safe letting go with. In this video, you'll learn 5 core disciplines that create that craving. Not by persuasion, but by the gravitational pull of your presence. Each principle builds on a last, forming authority, tension, and subtle command. By the end, you'll know how to transform unseen attraction into undeniable reality. Master your inner drive. Drive is a raw, human energy, the core of motivation and ambition. But most people make a critical error. They let this force control them. They act on impulse, seek validation, and lose focus. A scattered drive creates a weak presence. The disciplined man flips the script. He doesn't follow his impulses. He directs them with purpose. He channels that fire into his purpose, his craft, his health, and his growth. This builds a noticeable presence, rooted in self-control. A man who masters his drive doesn't seek approval. His certainty is internal. People sense the difference between someone ruled by whim and someone guided by vision. Think of your drive as a river. Uncontrolled, it floods and destroys. Directed, it powers everything. It becomes fuel for discipline, creativity, and resilience. When a man channels this energy, his actions gain intention. His voice holds authority. His focus sharpens. Mastery isn't about killing your drive. Suppression backfires. It's about choosing where to aim it. It's strategic. It creates patience and direction. An ancient rule says it best. He who rules his passions is already a king. When you govern your impulses, you demonstrate inner leadership. You aren't tossed by every passing urge. You act instead of react. This grants you profound control over your life and your relationships. Many mistake wanting for needing. They hunt external praise to feel strong. True power comes from restraint, knowing you could act, but choosing not to. That choice builds inner strength. It sharpens your aim. It lifts your mindset. This shift changes everything. Channeled drive brings clarity to decisions, force to goals, and steadiness to emotions. You move with purpose, not hunger. Others detect this. They recognize real, grounded confidence. This isn't about saying no to life. It's a strategy. It's about turning raw power into ambition, presence, and direction. It separates the intentional from the reactive, the focus from the scattered. Mastered, this inner force becomes your greatest asset. It fuels success, draws real connection, and forges character. You stop chasing validation. You generate value, and that makes you unforgettable. Master your emotional state. Most men think attraction is about appearance, wit, or rehearsed routines. They believe women are won by clever tricks. That's missing the point. Real attraction begins with your internal atmosphere. Women respond to men who are calm, solid, and in control of their inner world. Emotional mastery doesn't mean feeling nothing or becoming cold. It means your core remains steady, no matter the storm outside. You feel anger, frustration, or excitement, but these feelings don't steer you. You choose your response. This is a control few men ever develop, and it's irresistibly attractive. Women naturally test men. It's instinctual. They might tease, challenge a small point, or go quiet mid-conversation. They might see how you react to mention of another man, or push a boundary lightly. Most men fail these instantly. They get anxious. They over-explain, laugh nervously, or scramble to impress. They chatter to fill the silence because stillness feels dangerous. The man who commands his emotions does the opposite. He stays quiet. He observes. He doesn't jump to react. That calm creates a magnetic pull women notice on a primal level. It sparks curiosity. It changes her breathing. It draws her closer. Silence, poise, and presence signal strength more powerfully than any monologue. Picture this. You're speaking with a woman, and she pulls back. She checks her phone, crosses her arms, or breaks eye contact. A man without emotional control panics. He talks faster, explains himself, or gets anxious to regain her focus. But a centered man waits, calm. He allows the silence to sit. That quiet moment actually pulls her toward you. She senses a depth she can't name. She starts tracking your energy, not your dialogue. That is the power of emotional command. A philosopher wrote, "The greatest conquest is victory over oneself." This is the truth of attraction. Women aren't swayed by clever jokes or status symbols alone. They respond to men whose emotional foundation is solid, whose presence is heavy, and whose energy radiates security. They feel safe with men who remain composed under pressure, even during a test. Mastery also means knowing the gap between feeling and doing. You can feel a spike of desire, annoyance, or irritation, but instead of letting it dictate your move, you notice it. You pause. You let calm guide your answer. That stillness builds tension, mystery, and pull. Women notice this subconsciously. They sense it physically before their mind knows why. Another example. On a date, she lightly tests you by questioning your view or offering a playful jab. A man without mastery reacts. He gets defensive, tries to prove his point, or forces a nervous laugh. A man with mastery stays composed, assured, and measured. He answers with a brief, confident remark, perhaps a slight smile, and lets the exchange flow. That poised response communicates authority and creates invisible friction. Women find this energy impossible to ignore. Emotional command transforms every area of life. At work, in groups, with friends, your ability to stay centered under pressure signals strength. People see it, and women are pulled toward it instinctively. It is a quiet authority that earns trust, respect, and desire without a single request. To practice, start small. Pause before responding. Watch without judging. Let your calm dictate your actions. In time, your energy becomes a magnet. Women feel it. Your presence becomes compelling. You become the man who doesn't seek the spotlight because it naturally finds him. Remember, mastery isn't about being flawless. It's about being unshakable. The more you command yourself, the more your presence communicates power, mystery, and command. And women sense it long before they understand it. Live with unwavering discipline. Real power is never announced. It is demonstrated through consistency, order, and self-command. Most men speak of ambition and success, but their daily lives reveal chaos. Women sense disorder intuitively. They notice a lack of structure, aim, or direction. You can't explain this with language. It's carried in your energy, your rhythm, your movement. Discipline is more than a strict routine or an early alarm. It's deeper. Discipline is the fabric of your presence. It shows in how you carry yourself, the commitments you keep, how you maintain your body, and how you honor your time. Every small choice broadcasts a signal. Every repeated action tells the world and women that you are the author of your life. That is a power that needs no applause. A disciplined man radiates certainty. He doesn't explain. He doesn't prove. He doesn't chase eyes. His life stands as proof of his strength. Women notice this instinctively. They feel pulled toward a man whose energy communicates reliability, consistency, and self-ownership. This is magnetic because it builds safety, trust, and fascination simultaneously. A great strategist said, "A leader must first govern himself before governing others." This is eternal. Before you can attract or lead, you must lead yourself. That means building routines, checking impulses, and upholding your standards in any situation. Every time you keep a promise, rise early when you're tired, maintain your physical form, or stay true to a long-term goal, you sharpen this invisible authority. Women feel this in a subtle, potent way. They sense order in your life and that you are not easily swayed or played. Discipline shapes your daily presence. Imagine two men, one distracted, late, glued to his phone, complaining. The other moves with a plan, values his time, and acts with purpose. Which man feels more substantial? Which commands respect? Which do women gravitate toward naturally? The answer is obvious. Discipline broadcasts invisible strength. Understand that discipline isn't rigid obsession over tiny details. It's a way of being, a rhythm in all you do. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. The disciplined man doesn't advertise his wins. They show in the subtle ways. How he enters a space, how he speaks, how he treats his physique, how he handles his word. All this signals one message. I am in command. My life is my own. Women unconsciously register this. They are attracted to men whose existence is cohesive and purposeful. Discipline is more than habit. It is the bedrock of quiet authority. It proves you are capable, dependable, and self-possessed. When paired with emotional mastery, controlled desire, and precise speech, it makes you a man whose presence is powerfully attractive. Remember, discipline isn't a short effort. It is daily practice. Every choice you make, every line you hold, every habit you sustain adds to your silent power. Over time, this collected energy draws women to you instinctively. They don't analyze it. They feel it. They notice the weight of your consistency, the calm certainty you carry, and the unspoken truth that your life commands respect. When you live with unwavering discipline, your existence becomes your ultimate statement of power. You don't chase women, impress people, or seek permission. Your consistency, structure, and self-mastery say everything for you. Women detect it, are attracted to it, and answer to it without words. Discipline becomes a silent force, pulling attention, respect, and desire without effort. Speak with gravity and intent. Language holds power. Every sentence you utter releases energy into the room. Most men don't grasp this. They talk excessively, ramble, over-explain, or share too much too soon. They seek acceptance through constant noise, struggling to win favor. Women see this immediately. Sound pushes away. Gravity pulls in. Women are attracted to weight, not decibels. They sense energy more than they process syllables. How a man speaks, pauses, and modulates his tone communicates far beyond the dictionary meaning. Every statement you make carries force if delivered with purpose. Every pause, every shift in tone, every look becomes an instrument of influence. To master this, begin by slowing your speech. Speak deliberately, as if each word has cost. Cut filler words, like, Let your words land as statements, not decorations. Each phrase should advance the interaction, plant a seed of curiosity, or create tension. The man who masters language knows less is always more. Saying too much weakens authority. Saying just enough builds intrigue. Silence is a tool. Most men fear quiet and rush to kill it. A pause makes a woman think, question, and lean closer. She begins trying to decode your rhythm, your intent, your mind. When you speak with control and then pause, you generate invisible friction. Every pause is magnetic. Every word becomes a trail she wants to follow. Your presence grows louder than your voice. Imagine a scene. You're on a date and she challenges your view, testing or teasing you. A man lacking control might react offensively, explain at length, or laugh with nerves. The strategic man does something different. He remains calm, grounded, and deliberate. He offers a faint smile, picks his words with care, and responds with confidence and brevity. That simple reply communicates security, authority, and composure. She registers it in her body before her conscious mind catches up. Another scene. You meet a woman socially and she playfully tests you with a light challenge. Instead of overreacting, debating, or fishing for approval, you speak with controlled force. Your voice is steady. Your tone has depth. You pause. You let the weight of your presence lead the interaction without aggression. That is the heart of verbal power. Influence without pressure, attraction without strain. A thinker said, "Wield words as tools, not ornaments." This is key. Your words aren't for pleasing her. They are for steering emotion, crafting tension, and shaping perception. Every line should build mystery or affirm your presence. Every silence should pull her nearer. The most compelling men speak with precision, not volume. They don't over-explain or seek approval. Their words hold authority. Their quiet holds power. Remember, women aren't attracted to men they completely decipher. They are drawn to men who are an enigma, who are confident, composed, and magnetic. Speaking with gravity and intent lets you become that man. She starts to match your rhythm without thinking. She leans in to fill the quiet. She watches. She waits. She responds to your presence. That is how attraction builds without you ever saying anything overt. To practice, begin in minor interactions. Speak slowly. Choose words wisely. Use silence on purpose. Watch how people react. Notice how tension mounts when you say less and mean more. Over time, this skill turns ordinary talk into a magnetic tool of influence and authority. Master this, and you will no longer pursue attention. Attention will pursue you. Words become your quiet strength, and every exchange becomes a chance to draw women closer with your energy, not your excuses. Master the art of presence. Presence is among the most potent tools a man can cultivate. It is an invisible force women detect before they see you or hear you speak. Most men get this completely wrong. They enter a room and immediately strive to seize attention. They talk too much, laugh too loud, or try to dazzle everyone nearby. This is a common error. It is weakness pretending to be confidence. True power doesn't yell. It emanates quietly. The strategic man knows presence isn't about words, appearance, or status. It's about energy, posture, and command over your own being. How you hold your body, the stillness in your eyes, the pace of your movements, even your breath, all broadcast power. Every detail signals, I am here, and everything adjusts around me. This is the core of silent authority. Women notice presence on instinct. They feel it physically before their thoughts form. Her heartbeat alters slightly. Her defenses drop without knowing why. She feels curiosity, fascination, and a magnetic draw to a man who emits quiet dominance. It's not in your stories, your jokes, or your arguments. It's in how you inhabit space with calm assurance. That is the language she understands. To master presence, start by moving with purpose. Walk a touch slower. Carry yourself with intent, and hold your posture as if every movement matters. Avoid fidgeting, glancing at your phone, or showing nervous energy. Every tiny motion communicates. Your focus should be inward first, not on others' reactions. When you command your internal state, your external presence naturally becomes magnetic. Another vital element is quiet. A man with presence feels no need to fill every second with sound. Speaking less, pausing often, and observing your environment communicates confidence and command. Women are drawn to this because it creates mystery and tension. They begin to notice your subtle cues, lean in slightly, and wonder what's happening in your mind. That curiosity fuels attraction more than any rehearsed line ever could. Picture entering a social setting. Most men instantly perform, overtalk, or seek to impress. But you, the man who has mastered presence, simply enter calmly, breathe evenly, and hold your space. You don't compete for looks. Instead, attention naturally flows to you, like gravity. People notice you without knowing the reason. Women are especially tuned to this. They subconsciously recognize a man who is rooted, composed, and entirely at ease in his own skin. Presence also demands control over your energy in the moment. Avoid impulsive reactions to distractions, provocations, or the gaze of others. Maintain calm and focus. Let your stillness speak authority. Every gesture, every look, every shift in stance reinforces your dominance without sound. This is why presence is called the silent language of masculine power. When presence is mastered, you no longer need to chase approval or validation. You attract attention effortlessly, and women are naturally curious. They ask themselves silently, who is this man who doesn't seem to need me, yet I find myself wanting his attention? That question is a seed of true desire. The more consistent your presence, the more magnetic you become. In practice, presence is about slowing down, occupy your space with intention, and mastering your energy in every moment. Your posture, tone, gaze, and breath combine to create an aura that is sensed, not described. When done right, women lean in, notice every subtle shift, and feel a tension that pulls them toward you naturally. Presence is a foundation of attraction. It is a silent signal of power, command, and authority that no vocabulary can replicate. Own it completely. Move with purpose. Speak only when needed. Treat your space as sacred. The invisible tension you generate becomes irresistible, and attraction starts to happen before a single word is spoken. Cultivate immovable self-respect. Respect starts within. How you view and value yourself directly shapes the world's view of you. Most men make a fatal mistake. They seek validation externally, especially from women. They chase attention, over-explain their worth, or lower their standards just to be accepted. This kills attraction. Women are instinctively pulled toward men who value themselves too highly to accept less, and pushed away by men who constantly plead for endorsement. Self-respect is about setting clear boundaries and guarding your energy. It's knowing what you will accept and what you will not. It's moving through life with the mindset, I determine my value. No one else does. A man with immovable self-respect does not negotiate his worth. He does not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or mind games. He stands firm in his principles, even when tested. This is magnetic because women sense the energy of a man who cannot be controlled or compromised. One of the most powerful expressions of self-respect is withdrawal. When a woman tests your limits through teasing, subtle provocation, ignoring you, or diverting attention, most men panic. They respond, overcompensate, or chase. The man who understands self-respect does the opposite. He calmly withdraws his attention, stays quiet, and lets his absence create value. Women feel this instantly. Your energy becomes unreachable. Your standards broadcast authority. They see you are not available to anyone who doesn't meet your level of respect. That alone makes you compelling. A strategist understood this. Make them value your presence by proving you can walk away. This principle is essential. When you protect your time, your energy, and your focus, women rise to meet your standards. They are drawn to your energy because it communicates strength, independence, and self-command. You no longer pursue desire. It flows toward you naturally. The woman senses your presence isn't something she can demand. It is earned and held with quiet authority. Self-respect isn't arrogance. It is unshakable belief in your own value. It means you don't need constant validation, approval, or affirmation from anyone. It means saying no without apology, leaving situations that drain you, and refusing to trade your principles for short-term gain. Every action, every choice, every moment of calm assertiveness builds the invisible authority women feel at a primal level. Imagine a conversation where a woman tests you. She makes a subtle dig or a challenging remark. A man without self-respect reacts emotionally, defends himself, or tries too hard to keep her focus. A man with immovable self-respect simply smiles faintly, holds his ground, and continues on his path without chasing her reaction. That calm, firm energy shifts everything immediately. Women feel tension, curiosity, and fascination because they recognize a man who cannot be manipulated and does not beg for approval. Self-respect also shows in your daily life. How you manage your work, your habits, your routines, and your time all communicate your value. A man who honors his word, keeps promises, and enforces his own boundaries demonstrates power without declaration. Women notice this consistency beneath conscious thought. They feel your energy is rare, controlled, and worth engaging with. Ultimately, self-respect is a foundation for all other masculine powers. When you build it, you create a life where attraction occurs naturally. You no longer chase women. Desire moves toward you. You no longer bend for approval. Attention seeks you. You become a man who moves like a force that chooses, never pleads. Your presence itself commands respect. And when combined with emotional mastery, controlled drive, verbal precision, and discipline, you become powerfully irresistible. Remember, a man who respects himself cannot be broken, manipulated, or ignored. Women sense this power instinctively. They feel pulled to it, challenged by it, and ultimately captivated by it. Guard your energy. Uphold your boundaries. Let your presence communicate. I am the prize, and I decide who earns my attention. Turn desire into alignment through quiet guidance. The final skill is the art of unseen leadership, the kind of influence she senses rather than observes. Desire is only the beginning. Alignment, follow-through, and surrender come from subtle guidance, not commands. Women don't want a man who shouts orders or tries to show dominance. They want a man whose presence quietly sets the tone of the entire connection, whose energy establishes the rhythm without announcement. This is a strategic mastery of influence. You don't react to her tests. You steer them. You don't fight her emotions. You anchor them. You don't run after her chaos. You absorb it and shape it into calm. A look, a slow breath, a controlled pause, a shift in your stance. These faint signals guide her into your frame. Not because you force her, but because your stability, confidence, and discipline make following feel natural. Soon, she mirrors your tone. She matches your pace. She orbits your emotional gravity. Her desire slowly transforms into a deeper instinct to align with you. A great mind captured this truth. It is not by force, but by artful guidance that men hold lasting influence. Master this, and you no longer chase attraction. You design it. You no longer demand surrender. She offers it. Every moment becomes a subtle dance where you lead without speaking, and she follows without knowing why. This is the ultimate shift. Desire, fascination, alignment. Quiet, invisible, inevitable. Power doesn't come from chasing. It starts within. Master your emotions, your drive, your words, your life, and your self-respect. Once you command these, attraction, trust, and desire follow automatically. Women don't just see it. They feel it. They surrender not because you convince them, but because your energy demands it. A philosopher would say, he who commands himself commands a room. Stop chasing. Stop pleading. Live in alignment. Move like inevitability. When you master yourself, the world aligns with your presence. This game isn't about women. It's about ruling the kingdom within. If this resonated, show your support, give this video a like, and subscribe to Winds of Thought.